Hello everybody, I hope you're doing well today. Today we have a little bit of a special case. I read essentially all the comments on my videos. I really appreciate when people have something to say. But I took a screenshot of this. I had somebody leave a comment that was so cursed that I just needed to hold on to it. It's truly a thing of beauty. Like, this is literature. I should hang it up on a wall. So I'm going to read it to you, and, we're going to have a very serious discussion about this. So it's by a user that is just a string of letters and words, and not words, numbers. Elden Ring PvP Popo. Not poo-poo, Popo. Always thought it. Anytime the PvP I always play, oh my goodness. Anytime I try the PvP, I always play underpowered at like level 20 with a +3 weapon at Stormveil. No fancy gimmicks either. Just me and a fucking Flamberge and a unique look, a firebomb or two. There's the most fun I've had, trying to or managing to beat the gank squads all using broken and over-leveled shit. I was looking forward to Elden Ring's PvP before release, thinking the verticality of the jump would bring ambushes and environmental fighting into the overall totality. Boy, was it a big fucking bust. This is where it gets good. Probably the shittiest PvP of not only every Souls game, but every game ever made in the world so far. Genuinely, it's like FromSoft spent 2.5 minutes thinking about it and then just had a team wank in a circle around Miyazaki and called it a day. So boring, so cheap, so worthless to spend time on. It's a fucking shame that Dark Souls 2 had the best PvP so far. Well, yeah, there it is. I mean, lol. But here's the sad part. This is serious, guys. Seriously, a prayer for Chasethebro. That man streamed and made videos on Dark Souls 3 for like 6 years, and now he's gonna have to play Elden Ring for 6 more years, or his family will starve. His family will starve. That poor son of a bitch. Heart goes out to him. This is very sad, guys. One like, guys. One like, and we will do absolutely nothing but pretend like we're sending our best wishes. No, but that's my favorite type of comment. It's so funny when people just go on this like schizo post of a rant about Elden Ring. Like, I miss it because I used to see this type of thing a lot more in like Dark Souls 3 in its dying years. But I don't see it that often in Elden Ring. It's mostly people just being like, herp-de-dur, this game is bad. And don't get me wrong, I do plenty of that myself. Like, I made a series called Elden Invasion Suck. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not some angel in this. But, it's really, really funny when people post stuff like this. But there's 2 things I want to talk about. One, Chasethebro. I essentially didn't watch him for a long time when I was playing Dark Souls 3. Like, I mean, he was one of the biggest PvP guys, but it just didn't interest me. But I started watching him again recently. How does he manage to stay so happy, seemingly? Like, I mean, he's just out here doing his thing. He's having a good time. Like, it makes you wonder, like, how many times does he have to delete footage because he's like, oh, I just got completely nuked by people in the Rykard cave, like, how often does that happen for him? But also, like, a lot of YouTubers I've ran into at least once, does Chasethebro just, like, play people that are playing at, like, 3 a.m. or something? Like, I've never, ever come across him. I don't know. There's a mystery around this man. This man that has an inability of getting angry, which, is pretty Chad. Like, that's pretty Chad. Like, imagine not letting this game piss you off. Like, that's crazy. Being able to, like, I'll watch him, like, get dragon breath to the face and he laughs at it. It's like, who is this psychopath? But, let's show him some love, guys, because his family is apparently starving because Elden Ring is a bad game. And the other thing I wanted to talk about is Dark Souls 2 enthusiasts. Now, trust me, we're only talking about serious things here. Like, this is only the most logical conversations we're going to be having on this channel. I am so sick of people with this sort of like Souls counterculture talking about how Dark Souls 2 is the best one. Like, obviously it does not matter in the slightest. Obviously it doesn't. But like, there's these people that are talking about how good like every single aspect of the game is, and it's like, that's cool, but I swear to God, if I hear one more person in a completely non-Dark Souls 2 related comment section or post mention how Dark Souls 2 had the best PvP, let me look. I'm looking to my left, I'm looking to my right, up, down, backwards. Nobody asked. I'm so sick of it. Like, someone will be mentioning how like Elden Ring is too spammable. They're like, well, Dark Souls 2 never had that problem. It's like, oh my gosh, dude, please spare me. Like Steelovsky either started with Dark Souls 2 or it was just like one of his favorites or his favorite. Sir, I must ask you, if Dark Souls 2 is so good, then how come you're Polish? If it's such a good game, how come it did not fix the fact that you are Polish? Tell me that, sir. Huh? If Dark Souls 2 is so good, then how come you're still a furry? Horaloo killed his furry OC that he didn't want in the first place because he got a little mad. That's pretty Chad-like, if I do say so myself. How come you're still out of shape and fat? You guys are out here looking like the covetous demon. Whereas in Dark Souls 3, we get to kill the embodiment of gluttony, which is Aldrich. Literally is so much of a Redditor. He is literally Reddit soup. He is Reddit souperino. Okay, that's disgusting. And we get to finish that abomination off. Huh? Please explain these things to me. How is Dark Souls 2 so good when Artorias' balls are nowhere to be seen? Because this is why Dark Souls 1 is a 1 out of 10, because Artorias had his arm broken and all that stuff, but the most crippling thing that happened to him was his balls are just gone because Manus is a fake ass bitch and dissolved them. He dissolved his manhood and now he's just a shell of himself. I don't know why Vati never talked about this. Come on, Vati. You're supposed to be the big guy here. What's going on, dude? But yeah, I will give you that. That is why Dark Souls 2 is better than Dark Souls 1, because Artorias' testicles is not an item in the game of Dark Souls 1. But, it is in Dark Souls 2. It's called the smelting hammer or something like that. I can't remember. I played so much Dark Souls 2 to remember almost none of it. But for real, if I hear one more person mention how it has the best fashion souls in the series, no. To each their own, but to me, part of fashion souls is not only how something looks, but how it moves, okay? And every single character in Dark Souls 2 moves like they have shit in their pants. The females, all like the most attractive female character you can make in Dark Souls 2 looks like Amanda Nunes. And the whole game is just uncanny. I'm just out here trying to argue with people, okay? Please inform me as to why Dark Souls 2 is the best one. But if I were to talk about something a little bit less stupid, I want to give a quick shout out to my mom and my sisters, because today was an awful day at work, okay? And I go biking after work every day to clear my head, whatnot, right? For a short bike ride. And, that's supposed to be when I start feeling better. And On my bike ride, I unfortunately see a cat that had been roadkilled in one of the most grisly ways I could imagine, and I'm not going to describe it past that. But needless to say, my normal 10 minutes of mental refresher did not work. It was quite depressing. But, you know, my family was there to make a phenomenal supper, and Mom was there to listen to me rant about frickin' Bionicles to her. And I'm not even joking about that. I was ranting to her about why the Wave 2 of Dark Souls of Bionicles failed so poorly, which, you know, in my opinion has to do with people only wanting video games, and, you know, when it comes to, like, young kids, like the Elsa Gate shit, and essentially just watching, like, softcore pornography and stuff like that. And so, you know, they made this big-ass thing that they were going to bring back, and it's like a good number, 1,000 of people that still really care about Bionicle, but they produced it like it was 2006, like, and it just completely fell on its face. And even though there was supposed to be 3 waves as far as I know, we only got 2, and then they completely axed it. So, you know, that's really sad, but shout out to my family, because she endured me talking about that, even though she has no clue what the hell I'm talking about, and I just had the most amazing homemade fried chicken, and I'm a considerably happier boy right now, so that's awesome, you know. But I suppose I've let a lot of footage go past without actually commenting on it. That blue has a blue moment right there and falls to his death. Very sad. He got optimaled by gravity. That's right. It's not old yet. It is. But I had to have been playing terribly, because, like, this guy is fat rolling for like 80% of the time, and I still go the distance. But it's okay. It's okay. Sevi. I swear that's a YouTuber name. I could swear that. Let me know if I'm right or wrong. I almost get a beautiful shot right there. However, I don't, because it hits the little bit of road right before it, which is very sad. I probably could have sent all 3 of them off in the same bow shot. But obviously, we have a mage, as you can tell by, you know, the disgusting looking statues on the head and the moon veil. But this is going to be a pretty long drawn out one. We have one that is an unendurable dickhead type of sorcerer, and then we have your most normal watches IGN reviews type host over here. And then we have a guy that wanted to use anchors but didn't run through the game again to get more anchors, so he's using the pickaxes. But since there's 2 casters, it doesn't matter how good or bad they play. I have to go slow. And I have a feeling, right, that if I let this one that's wearing what's her name, Ronnie's hat, if I were to, oh wait, never mind, what am I even talking about? You just gotta blender them. You just gotta blender them. Forget everything that I was saying. Just gotta blender them. But we actually do get the same guys again, and this is why people that do this whole, like, 20 vigor, 80 intelligence thing, it's not really an 80 intelligence move IRL to do this. Watch this guy. Doink. Oh. He just got home runned by that Babe Ruth on a horse. Babe Ruth on a horse. Just unga boonga'd that man into an oblivion. More madness here, so I'm like, oh, okay, well, the madness pass has been received. I don't like pulling out Vikes. I hate Vikes. But when I see somebody doing something like this, where they're using it themselves, or say they're running like they have like a ton of lat, right, and they're using light roll, that's when I'll like pull something like this out. And so I'm trying to get my ducks in an order. Obviously, I don't want to be Scarlet Rotted. And this guy right here, he is the 7 deadly sins. He's like fat or something and gets punished by the Azula Knights for being fat. I missed right there because, you know, I thought that unlocking with that would be a great idea, and obviously I was wrong. But they've made a terrible mistake. I made a mistake, but not quite as terrible. You have 3 of these guys on you. I hope you're not past just normal new game, because they hurt a lot. See, look, that kind of hurted, but he's still using Rivers of Blood because, you know, when you have Rivers of Blood, you probably have not looked up a video in terms of, like, what's meta and whatnot, like, what's powerful. Probably the video that he looked up was a year old, and he hadn't realized that Rivers of Blood is now a fifth of what it used to be. But that's okay, because our job is not to inform him on the ways of Rivers of Blood. Our job is to punish him for thinking that he's an OP gamer for using that. So I'm just going to do that right there because the Ash of War was just looking so tantalizing, and this guy is not healing, and I still managed to miss. But, you know, it's okay. It's okay. I'll eventually stop missing at point blank with really strong weapons. Eventually. Oh, I somehow managed to miss because my spacing is immaculate when it comes to missing. It's world class, like number 1. We almost get Madness right there, but thankfully he misses, and we have the perfect combo. Pack 'em and stack 'em. But let's go ahead and swap the channel. Let's listen to some Elden Ring Geographic. And here we find ourselves in the infamous Haligtree, an area renowned for being one of the most dangerous ecosystems in the lands between. Whether you're looking at soldiers, cleanrot knights, revenants, or avatars, there is always a threat to your survival. However, most hosts will choose to valiantly fight their way through their oppressors. We have a rare specimen that we will be drawing a spotlight to today, the elusive and critically endangered Red JJ. Most hosts will take the opportunity to make their way to Melania as quickly as possible. However, due to Miyazaki being shit at game design, there is a little thing called elevator camping, where the elevator will only move when somebody has gotten off of the button. If you do this in the correct areas where falls are fatal, you are going to surely make your aggressors want to disconnect from your game. However, what we have here is going to be 2 invaders who make an unexpected alliance. In these times of turmoil, trying to hunt down a host that they know will set a trap, 2 is always better than 1. Sergeant Jaeger is privy to the elevator camping and suspects that it is in fact the strategy of the host. However, he is going to take his time communicating telepathically via the PSN messages with his invader buddy, and also considering all other options to make sure that it is in fact the elevator. Here he goes in, and would you know it, we have our prey, the elusive Red JJ. However, unfortunately, the first round of elevator cheese works out exactly how the host wanted. He is playing a hit-and-run playstyle where he's only hoping to hit you at least once or so, and then immediately make his escape, abusing the design of this game to the maximum. Very genius strategy. Here, Sergeant Jaeger is going to try and use the red finger to appear down where Melania is. However, once again, due to this being one of the games of all time, he keeps on ending up at the heights of the brace. The reason that the 2 predators are not keen on taking the long journey down to where Melania is because in the amount of time it would take for the 2 invaders to run around to try and reach the bottom of the elevator, the host could be anywhere, whether that be back at the top of the Alphael or down at the base, already at the fog door. Off-screen in the distance, a new predator has approached, something called a hunter, garnering its blue appearance. Our invader friend here is doing a very intelligent strategy, trying to shoot him from a distance before he has the chance to make his way over to us. Very magnificent. We once again try using the red finger to appear at the bottom, but once again we are also forced to be back at the top of the brace. Very good game design. All the invaders can hope for is that soon the stalemate will be broken. However, Sergeant Jaeger rounds the corner and immediately pounces on the opportunity to make sure that the host cannot get away this time. However, critically, he has made a fatal flaw. He has instead waited not for his invader buddy.
At the bottom and with critically low health and extremely wounded, he has gone from the predator to the prey. About to bleed out from his lacerations and clubbed into a different universe, he is on the back foot, to put it lightly. Now caught in the proverbial web of the host and the hunter, Sergeant Yeager must do his absolute best to survive, while hopefully his teammate makes his way down. Every single time Sergeant Yeager has tried to mend his wounds on the fly, he has been subsequently punished for it and has returned to critical health. Things are looking very dire for our invader here. He is now getting shot in the ass by lightning, but thankfully, almost like a miracle, his teammate is here to help. It is now a fair 2 versus 2. Now the question becomes, who is the predator and who is the prey? And with the intelligence of a dodo bird, Sergeant Yeager immediately runs into the firefight, losing well over half his health. However, it is now a true bloodbath, and the host has seen enough, for this is getting a little too macho for him, and he needs to play more like a pussy. He has left his only means of a fair 2v2 all on his lonesome. Now rolling for dear life, he is trying to get away long enough to use one of his crimson tears. However, the invaders, smelling blood in the water, are on him like sharks. And with the intelligence of a lemur with Down syndrome, Sergeant Yeager hits his teammate. However, he is going to finally seal the deal, and the opponent is now in a 1 versus 2. The invaders must recuperate, heal their wounds, and make haste as quickly as possible. For the invaders are now tattered and need to make sure they are in as good of health as possible if they want to bring this elusive Red JJ down. Sergeant Yeager now stacks a bunch of HP regeneration spells over himself. That way he recovers his HP very quickly while also not expending any crimson tears. He lost many in that fierce battle and needs to make sure that the few he has, he keeps. They ascend the elevator, which they find that the host has resorted to ladder cheese. This ladder is at death height. If you scale it and you fall off near the top, you will certainly die. However, without any words being exchanged, the invaders make a plan. Sergeant Yeager will be back up with a great bow at a distance, while our friend here is going to scale the ladder and trust in us that we can keep him safe. If the host is going to throw down volcano pots, our teammate here is going to be in grave danger. Here you can see him demonstrating his wild plumage, showing that he's not to be trifled with. However, we are going to run to a different vantage point, and thankfully our invader friend is going to wait for us to do so. We need to find a vantage point that is more favorable, since the large walls are in the way of us lining up a clean shot. Sergeant Yeager is once again forced to reposition, simply to this position being quite poor. While scoping out the area on the fly with a time crunch, Sergeant Yeager is pretty sure that he has found the best point he can work with. With a clear view of the ladder, this is about as good as it's going to get. The host has been caught out of position and is getting pelted by great bow shots. However, he does make it to the top before he's able to sustain critical damage. Sergeant Yeager, with him now being in this one region, is either able to shoot him off the bridge or shoot him when he's on the ladder. The invader commences his plan again to scale the ladder, and now we have a much better viewpoint for being able to protect him. He makes it safely through the volcano pot, and now is suspecting that the host will make a run for it. Expecting the bridge, Sergeant Yeager is aiming that way, just for him to start scaling the ladder. However, Sergeant Yeager is a master of frame-perfect optimals and shoots him right off the cliff. Very impressive performance. However, the host could not take the embarrassment and disconnects.
Alrighty, well, that was quite pussy.
I meant, so now we have an invader sneaking around trying to find the host. However, he is going to come across Jingmang Vertu. However, being a blue, his IQ is somewhere between 20 and 40. Due to this, his reaction time is somewhere around 4 to 5 seconds, and does not see the lightning bolt shot directly at his face. Very saddening.
So I ended this session with some solo hosting, but I came across some absolute BS. Get a load of this. Well, would you look at that? Haven't seen that shield in a while. I wonder what's happening. Let's witness. I usually like to try and refrain from being overly mean when talking about people in this game. But this person knew exactly what the fuck they were doing. Absolutely block someone that's playing like this. That is bullshit. But anyway, yeah, I mean, solo hosting is a ton of fun, especially when you are a based host like I am. I will absolutely make videos about it. 1, 2, catch 'em. Shamshir, running R2. There you go, baby. But Journey 8, I like to do it this way because I am not a bitch. I am not afraid of dying when it is my time to die, such as right here. Oh, let's knock this Clean Rot Knight off. Where's my laugh track? Come on, it's funny. I fucking hate Clean Rot Knights. But yeah, I mean, hopefully you guys would like to see that, and I'll name it like Solo Hosting Sucks or something, but like, it doesn't. I really like solo hosting. The biggest problem is the activity, but thankfully we were able to cap off the night with a little bit of activity, which feels very nice. What doesn't feel so nice is this light rolling frickin' mage right here, so we need to do what we do best and call upon the Elden Tings. Roll the greedy dice. Sometimes Elden Ring gives, sometimes it takes. And I'm in a very vulnerable spot, so I need to get down before it does a little bit of taking. Oh dear, both of them are down here with me. What are we gonna do? Round the corner? Bink. Bye-bye, sir. You had the same idea, but unfortunately, it didn't work. And unfortunately for you, you aren't medium rolling, so you didn't stay on the cliff. Good night, guys.